If you listen to my show on a regular basis and you're a listener of mine, and you listen to the Shelley Winter Show, you kind of know a lot about me because I talk a lot about my personal life. But if you're just hearing me for the first time this week or today, my name is Shelley Winter and I normally air, as I said, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. But I want to tell you something that happened to me. And I have to share this because, one, I do talk about my life a lot on my own show, and I must do it here. But I want to share the story with you because someone out there is going through something similar, and they need to hear what happened to me. So over the last couple weeks, for various reasons, and I'll list them for you, I've been going through a lot, and I've been extremely depressed. But because of the type of job I do, you can't come in sad. You've got to be upbeat, and I'm normally an upbeat, happy guy. But over the last couple weeks, I've been extremely depressed, and I've been hiding it. By hiding it, I've been beating myself up, right? Because I can't show the depression, and because I do a lot of work. Last week I did 2 shows, one morning, one in the evening, so I had no time to really kind of internalize what I was going through. And so I for the last couple months, I put myself from irresponsible spending. I took some very expensive trips, and I put myself behind in many of my bills. That's my fault, my responsibility, my own actions. In my personal life, in a relationship that has been rocky, very rocky and not so, solid, been going through that. I'm coming up 2 weeks from today, essentially, actually 2 weeks from today to the day, my mom, who's my best friend, I was very close to her, she passed away. So I've been dealing with that, coming off of Mother's Day and everything else going on. All of that's been going on. And I'm not bringing this up to whine or complain, but it is a part. I have to contextualize the story I'm about to tell you. Also, going from 7 to 10 to 7 to 9 has also, on a personal level, affected me my mental, my spiritual, more than I thought it would. So all of these things happening around the same time, I was very depressed, right? Financial, personal, spiritual, everything was impacting me, and I was depressed, and I was going through a lot. And so last night was a particularly tough night. I couldn't really sleep. I can't sleep a lot anyway, but I couldn't sleep last night. And then about 3, 4 in the morning, I got a text that just drove the rage in me, drove the anger in me, drove a bunch of hatred in me, not necessarily for anybody outside, but a hatred of the decisions I've made, the positions I put myself in, and what I was going through, and not being able to share it, not being able to talk about it. And I do have a therapist. I'll be totally open with that. I talk to them twice a week, but even sharing with them, not the same. Right. And so last night I was filled with rage and pain and hurt. And I dozed off about 4:45, 4:50 in the morning, just dozed off. And I had a dream. And in my dream, I saw my mom. She was full, her body, her face was lit up, and she was beautiful, just like I remembered her. Always smiling, always laughing, and that's how I saw her. It's like I was someplace, and I was like, hey, there's mommy. And I gave her a hug. And in her smile, in her happiness, and everything that she looked glowing. She looked beautiful. She looked, nothing like when I last saw her. And in all of that, she hugged me, and all I heard her say was, get on your knees. That's it. So many of you would say, that don't believe in this kind of stuff, the logical thinkers, the reasonable thinkers, you would say, well, Shelley, you're dreaming. You're going through a lot. Your mom was part of it. Of course, she showed up in your dream. That would be true. But when I woke up from that dream, and I knew I was awake, I wasn't still dreaming. When I woke up, I was literally on the side of my bed, on my knees, waking up with my head off the bed. I was on my knees. I dreamt, but I fell asleep, dozed off, laying down in the bed. But I woke up on my knees. In my room, I sleep. If you know anything about me, I sleep with the TV on because I don't like to sleep in the dark, and I like sound in the room. Since I was a little kid, I didn't like the dark. So even as a grown man, I sleep with the TV on because I can't go to sleep in pitch darkness and silence. I have to have the sound of the TV or sound of something and light, and the light comes from the television. Well, when I woke up, my room was pitch black. I was on my knees, pitch black room. And for the first time in many, many years, my brain was totally empty. No stress, no thoughts about news stories, no thoughts about what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to bring. My brain was empty. And in that pitch darkness, all I heard was, I got you. I always have had you. I got you still. The voice of my mom. And then I heard, he got you. He always has, and he always will. He's got you. And that just went on for about 3 or 4 minutes, just that same voice over and over and over again. And so I'm saying that to anybody going through something right now because it just happened to me. And I want to tell you that voice that I heard, I've heard before. I'm on this station because of that voice. Years ago, I was on another station. That station's tower the signal was sold, and we were all off the air. All the people that worked there that were on air, we all had no jobs. And I went to speak at the Cobb County Republican Party breakfast. And a woman, I never met her, I never saw her before. She came up to me after I gave a speech. We're about 2 weeks, a week and a half away from not having any work. And she came up to me and she said, I listen to you all the time. You need to call WSB Radio. And I said to myself, oh, yeah, I told her loudly, oh, yeah, I'll call him. Good idea. But in my head, I was saying, WSB has no openings. They got a morning. They got Atlanta's Morning News. They got Von Hesser. They got Eric Erickson. Where would they place me? But on my way home that day, in my car, I'm driving by myself, I heard that same voice. What do you have to lose? Call him. What do you have to lose? Call him. And when I got home, I called and left a message. And the rest is history. I've heard that voice before. And I heard it this morning. I got you. He has you. I always will. I always have. He always will. He always has. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're going through, he has you.